Plymouth traffic. X-ray 21 Mike Golf departing runway 33 at Plymouth, be left turn now.
If you're an airshow fan like me, you no doubt have looked up in the sky and watched pilots fly amazing airplanes and doing amazing things. Whether it's an amazing Extra 330 SC like this airplane that I fly, a Boeing Stearman, or maybe even an F-18 or an F-16 like the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds fly, it's the people that make these airplanes come to life. If you look at the high-performance modern aerobatic airplane like my Extra 330 SC, we do that by putting a lightweight composite Hartzell propeller on the front, and then also combining that with a Lycoming Thunderbolt IO580 engine, which is actually a high-performance engine built by the factory themselves, and I've been using that engine in my airplanes for quite a few years. But in this category of airplane, the high-performance monoplane, or even the pit specials like you see Sean Tucker and maybe Skip Stewart fly, it is an athlete inside the cockpit that makes the difference. And when I say an athlete in the sky, I talk about somebody that is extracting the maximum amount of performance out of an airplane that's finely tuned for them. Just like any athlete, whether it be a stick and ball sport or a motor sport, getting the most out of the machine that you're in is really a very, very athletic endeavor. And when you put an athlete inside of any sport, and the sport of airshow and aerobatic flying, instrument that they're using has to be tuned to their liking. And this airplane that I have here, when you watch me fly, we've done hours and hours worth of work and testing and tuning to make this airplane fly just like I want it. So when we think about tuning an airplane to the pilot's liking, we think of a bunch of things. The center of gravity is one thing, the type of engine and the horsepower that it makes is another, the type of propeller is another, the way the seat belts fit is another thing. But I think the thing that makes the most difference, and it's a visible difference to the spectators, is how the ailerons work.
Okay, rolling to the left. I would say that it is a medium force, and it feels the same throughout the whole range. Okay, now rolling to the right. Same, the force is light to medium, and it's the same the whole way through. And I would say that it feels the same left as right.
All right, so both of them are light to medium?
Yeah, light to medium. The force does not change at all.
If you look at people fly, they all have very different styles. And for me, I like a very fast, crisp, aggressive style, and I've become known for that over the years, and it's the ailerons that allow me to do that. So what makes a true aerobatic airplane like this Extra 330 SC different than a normal airplane and so maneuverable? Well, one of them is the fact that it has a full span aileron that allows this airplane to roll almost 1 time per second. In fact, when it's at high speed, more than 1 time a second. And this is the thing that needs the tuning to be just the way the pilot wants it. So on our airplane, we've done hours and hours and days of testing to make this airplane feel just the way that I want it. One of the aerodynamic devices that you see on an aerobatic airplane that you don't see on any other type of general aviation airplane or even military aircraft that are highly maneuverable is a thing that we call a spade or a shovel. And when you deflect the aileron, there's an aerodynamic load placed on this shovel that helps move the aileron, and it's almost like power steering in your car. The shape of the shovel, its placement on the foot of the spade arm itself are all very critical as to how the airplane reacts to the pilot's inputs. The shovel that you see here is made up of carbon fiber, which they all are on an Extra, and we take this shovel and we fine tune it, obviously along with the recommendations from Extra Aircraft to make it fly just perfectly. So the shape, the amount of washers or the load that we have on the spade is all very, very critical. So when you're looking at an airplane next time, look at the different types of spades that airplanes have. The Pit Specials have different spade sizes and shapes than an Extra 330 SC, which might have a different spade shape than the earlier Extra 300Ls that you might find. The other thing that we do to fine tune the aileron's feel is to make sure that the gap seals are all taped. So we don't want any airflow being disrupted as it comes through the aileron well. So when you look at this airplane, we have adjusted the travel of the aileron to the maximum allowable within the maintenance manual. We've tuned up all the gap seals, and then we've actually played with the shovels and the angle of the shovels to give me what we call a very heavy center feel. So it almost feels like there would be an autopilot engaged if you were flying this airplane in straight and level. But with a bunch of effort and a hard push, the force goes away and becomes very, very light. And that's how you see me able to make a hard movement and then a hard back to center. So when the airplane stops, it stops very aggressively and very quickly without any bobble. So folks, the next time you're at an air show and you see an airplane like this Extra 330 SC, or Rob Holland in an MX, or maybe Kirby Chambliss in an Edge 540, know that there's an athlete in the sky, flying machine that's tuned just to them to let their personality come through. See you at an air show soon.